It's a good movie.
Well, before you got here, me and Cody were talking about who do you think won or lost free agency? Well, I asked him who he thought lost or did the worst.
Who lost free agency or did the worst, and that's big old COWBOY, Cowboys.
Well, they didn't do anything, but they also didn't lose anything. But you look at the Chargers, they cleaned house.
They did clean house.
Nothing but Herbert.
They got Gus Edwards.
I was hearing that they might trade Herbert too. That Harbaugh just might get rid of Herbert and trade up for J.J. McCarthy and just go with the same quarterback.
Ballsy moves.
With no offensive weapons?
No offensive.
Right now they're down to their receivers from last year, number 3, 4, and I don't even know who number 5 is. Right now the number 1 receiver is Palmer.
Quentin Johnson.
Josh Palmer.
Yeah, I don't know who the other guy is. That's what I said. Palmer's 1, and then Quentin Johnson.
They don't have a tight end either.
Is it? Didn't they sign Will Disley?
They signed Disley, yeah.
Disley, yeah. So they have a tight end.
Well, that brings me up to my point to a guy who I think should have been picked up already, and that's Hunter Renfrow.
Yeah. Mike Williams got picked up earlier today because I was going to say...
By the Jets, he was supposed to maybe go back, but I think it was just too sweet of an offer to do a one-year deal with Aaron Rodgers in the busiest city in America. So
New Jersey.
Yeah.
Because that's where they play him.
That's where they play him, but they are the New York Jets. But yeah, no, I was thinking about it, and I'm like, how has he not been picked up yet? It doesn't make any sense. I'm like, and I understand he's had 2 off years, but I blame the system on that one. I don't blame Hunter. Because I was going back. I went back to his Pro Bowl year. I ran the numbers on this. So in his Pro Bowl year, he was 20th in yards. Okay, it's reasonable. There's a lot of receivers in the league. 20th's pretty solid.
For a slot, that's...
Yeah, for a slot.
That's great.
9th in receptions. 19th in targets. 19th in targets, but yet 9th in receptions. Figure that one out. Tied 8th in touchdowns, 13th in yak, and 17th in first downs gained. And he had an 80.5% catch percentage that year. That was the highest among all wide receivers with 100-plus catches and among wide receivers with over 100-plus targets. To put in perspective, in that year, he had more yards than Mike Evans, Jalen Waddle, Amon-Ra St. Brown, and Brandon Ayuk. Guys that we believe are probably surefire number 1s and number 2s. Ayuk's in the middle. He's a 1.5.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Waddle's
a 1.5.
Yeah.
Receptions. He had more receptions than Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, Deebo Samuels, Mike Evans, and St. Brown again. Oh, he beat St. Brown in all of these, but I just figured to let you know. In touchdowns that year, he had more than Keenan Allen, Amari Cooper, Deebo Samuel, Michael Pittman, T. Higgins, and Jalen Waddle. And then, yak yards. This is the one that really surprised me. He had more yak yards than Tyreek Hill, than CeeDee Lamb, Waddle, and St. Brown. And he had more first downs than St. Brown, Cooper, and he was tied with Deebo. That's his Pro Bowl year. And so, like, if you give him the ball, he can make the catch. And he can produce. He has a career 74% catch radius. And I didn't into account bad passes, so it could easily be higher. So I kind of went back and did some calculating. And this past year alone, only 3 people had a percent catch radius of 74% or higher. It was CeeDee Lamb, Adam Thielen, and Rashid Rice. Out of like the top main wide receivers in there, I think like the top 50, whatever ESPN grabs. Only those 3 guys had a catch rate percentage of that or higher. But then I took it back a little further because Hunter has I think it's 267 catches on, or 270 something on 363 to make a 74% catch radius. So I went back to those 3 guys that had to their last 300 plus targets. CeeDee Lamb had a lower percent catch target, and so did Adam Thielen, and Rashid Rice is a rookie. So it's obvious he can catch the ball. You just got to throw it to him because you can see his production drop off. In his first 3 years with the Raiders, he was 2nd in targets his rookie year, 3rd in targets his second year, First in targets his Pro Bowl year. As soon as Josh McDaniels and all that crap gets there, and of course Devontae Adams, 5th the last 2 years in a row. He got out-caught by Foster fucking Moreau. That makes 0 sense. And the guys that were 6 and 7 weren't too far behind in targets. Like, I think it was the Trey Williams guy. I think he was 2 targets behind Hunter. So he's out there for grabs, and I think he would really shape a locker room.
He's visiting some teams, isn't he?
I don't know. I've been keeping the tabs on it just to kind of see. People are saying Chargers. He's up on their list of where he could potentially go who need help.
I mean, he could, in that offense, he could hop in right at number 2.
He could hop in at number 2, depending on what they do draft-wise. But, yeah, mainly Dixie's a local guy. We know him. You know, we've known him for years. So, and it just bugged me. It bugged the shit out of me that he has not been picked up. But I'm seeing all this other movement, like Jerry Jeudy getting 3 years, $58 million from Cleveland. Like, what?
Cleveland's smart with their money.
Curtis Samuel got a
They
decent
are.
contract too.
With $250 million for.
Yeah, but he didn't get 3 years, $58 million,
No, his
41
was 3
million.
and 20.
Yeah, that makes more sense. 41 million guaranteed for a guy
Yeah.
who's never broken 1,000 yards. His highest touchdown total in a season is 6.
To be fair, he hasn't had a great quarterback yet.
And
Still wouldn't have one if he was in Denver.
yeah,
Yeah.
but same thing. And the most receptions he's ever had is 67. How does that warrant that much money?
It's a terrible number.
$19.3 million a year salary. That's literally $1 million less than fucking Mike Evans. A dude who lives to get 1,000 yards in his
Every
sleep and close to double-digit touchdowns every year.
But he's very underrated because people just overlook him.
He is very underrated. And it's not exactly like he's had the creme de la creme of quarterbacks. He had Tom Brady for 2 years. But then before that, you had Jameis Winston, who's a backup on Cleveland now, who just keeps signing fucking quarterbacks.
Yeah, and then
Like,
Baker
Four
Mayfield.
of them.
Yeah. And Baker Mayfield, who he had
Well,
a
they're
resurgence.
worried something's gonna happen. Maybe they know something that we don't know about Deshaun Watson.
I don't know either.
They're signing all these guys. They're
it's
probably like
amazing.
this last year. We've got a lot of complaints, and they're about to surface. So let's just
Maybe
Yeah.
maybe
Protect
Deshaun
ourselves.
Watson opened a massage parlor in Cleveland.
yeah.
But to back to
Prepare
it,
for that.
yeah, I would say I guess the Chargers probably lost free agency by not making any splash signings, and
Well, I think it's between the Broncos and the Chargers for what they got rid of and then what they didn't bring in.
The deal is the Broncos have no money right now. It's the same situation with the Cowboys, but their cap,
they're paying Russell Wilson to play for
their
them.
cap hit is at least still in their uniform. Yeah, so yeah, I
Sure.
mean, I can't say like Steelers definitely finished in top 3 for me in the free agency with their signings. They addressed a lot of needs.
They'll
Like-
give you $30 million not to play quarterback for
Yes,
us.
that. I mean, love the Patrick Queen signing. Hopefully he can be the Ryan Shazier 2.0 without the handicap and the alopecia.
Sure.
I
Didn't
hated
really hinder
to
it,
see Deontay Johnson go because he was productive with
Yeah.
that type of quarterback play.
When he caught it.
When he caught it, yeah, you had to deal with the drops. And to be honest, you can only have one prima donna wide receiver in the room, and unfortunately, that's going to be George Pickens. But as long as he gets over 1,000 receiving yards, I don't care what he does. Deontay Johnson has literally only broken 1,000 yards one time in his tenure with the Steelers. So, and you get that out of the room, and then you got to start a cornerback to go opposite Joey Porter. I'm cool with that. That fills a need. They signed Elliott, the safety from Miami. I'll venture to you to see how he was.
Justin Simmons wanted to sign with Pittsburgh.
I know. I didn't understand. It had to have been a money thing. 1,000% is in my eyes. I get it. You know, you can't give it to everybody. Got to give it to somebody. And then punter, whatever. But let's get to the nitty gritty with the quarterbacks. I mean, sign Russell Wilson.
And then you trade for Justin.
I know. Well, when we signed Russell Wilson, I went from 6 to midnight, and then when we got Justin Fields in the trade, I had to change my underwear because damn, it was.
You had a no quarterback room.
Yeah.
Now you have 2 quarterbacks.
Yes. And I love the Kenny Pickett deal as well, moving up.
I bet you Mason Rudolph felt like Brucey real bad. As soon as they walked into the room, he's probably like, I'm never going to get to play now.
He's gone now.
Yeah, he was already signed with Tennessee before they even got a hold of Russ or Justin.
I thought he was still there before they signed those two.
No.
He
was already, his foot was already out the door. He was gone. Which is sad. I liked it. Now, don't get me wrong. I do feel bad for Kenny Pickett because he never got a true shot to show what he could do because he was always under Matt Canada. The one game where he didn't have Matt Canada, it was his best game. Mm-hmm. It was literally his best game.
That's where he got hurt, too, wasn't it?
No, he got hurt the next game.
The next game, yeah.
That's why. So you never got to see it, so you'll never know what
nothing
could
good
have
comes
been.
from Canada.
Yeah. But you never know what could have been. But I'm liking Russ, you know. And the thing is, I don't need him to ball out. I need him to just hit his averages. In his career, he averages 232 passing yards a game. I'm cool with that. He has a 3-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. Great. He averages about 28 passing touchdowns a year. Steelers had 25 in the past 2 seasons. So if you can give me 28, I'm cool with that. Now, he's not terrible, and he doesn't turn the ball over too much, which is what you want. He averages 9.5 turnovers a year. That's interceptions and fumbles. So that's pretty solid. I'm happy with that. And then the Justin Fields one, I'm wondering how they're gonna handle it because if you don't pick up his 5th year, then he's gone after this season, and then he's able to deal with the free market. But if you do sign him if you do pick up that 2nd-year option, then you're kind of saying to Russ, like, we're keeping him on as well to kind of see what it can develop. So you're not going to be the long term. But then you got these reports saying that they're going to sign Russell to a long-term extension at the end of the year.
How long can you sign?
I don't know, but these are also the same reports that said.
Sign Kirk Cousins.
But these are also the same reports that said we weren't going to sign anybody. It was going to be Kenny Pickett's room, and then suddenly all this has come. So I can't even believe it. Personally, it might even be where they wanted to trade for Justin Fields, but that market was just too hot to start in the beginning. And then
Chicago said no.
What?
Because you offered Chicago for Fields a 2nd and a 3rd. They just wanted the number 20th overall pick that y'all have in this.
I couldn't remember the report, but yeah. So Ryan Poles overplayed his hand.
Yeah.
And there's just something about Amar Khan where he's just like, who can I just take advantage of? And Ryan Poles is that drunk chick at the end of the bar, and it's closing time. And it's like, I guess so, here we go. And it just works every time. But yeah, so
she's a nice lady.
She's a nice lady. She means well, but you're going to get yours, but she probably won't get hers.
That's okay.
That's okay.
That's okay.
But yeah, so
She served.
So personally, what I think they might even be doing is they're building Russ up because you got options here. You can tell Russ like, yeah, we're going to work on a long-term deal at the end of the year. So he has to play well. So if he plays well, he gets his long-term deal. Great. Awesome.
If he plays terrible, you only lost $1 million.
If he plays terrible, though, Justin Fields is right there. Yeah. And then you just continue on with your plan. He learns under him for a year, learns the Arthur Smith system. You throw in a couple different packages with him in it because you can't leave that horse on the bench all game. Got to put him in for some specialty runs, some bullshit like that, maybe even some goal line stuff. Like Arthur Smith will find a way. But I think that should be the overall plan. You pretty much just lie your ass off to Russ. It's a win-win because either Russ plays well, you sign him to the extension, and everything's merry, or he plays bad, Justin Fields gets in there, and then it's like, sorry, Russ, no extension. Fields, here's some money, and boom, you got your quarterback of the future. So I want to see, next year's going to be amazing to see how they play it, but hopefully it all flows and works out.
And hopefully it's not a Broncos situation all over again.
There's no way it's a Broncos situation. We got smarter people in the building. and smarter owners.
Yeah.
So,
Just don't give him an office.
Yeah.
His own coaching staff.
Exactly.
Let him
So,
make commercials.
yeah, that in my opinion was probably the best one for me. But other teams did get better. I'm not going to say they didn't.
Oh yeah. There was some surprise. There's definitely surprise signings in the first day. Like Saquon Barkley was a big one.
Switching over.
Interdivision, that's just...
To be honest, I thought he was going to switch over to the other team in the division, but they kept their hands in their pockets, so...
Yeah, they fell asleep.
Might as well go to the Eagles. And then
the Green Bay with Josh Jacobs and
just
letting Aaron Jones go.
all the people, like all the running backs, boom, boom, boom. It was crazy. It's like a fire sale, which is great. But literally outside of Barkley, no one got the bag. No one got a good bag.
Yeah.
Jacobs, I think, got 324. I think Pollard got 324. Henry got 2 for 20, maybe. I think he averaged 10. He was the only other running back to get 10 mil per year. Of course, again, not fully guaranteed. And I'm sure there's something going on with that second year where they can opt out, and it's nothing too crazy. So no one really secured the bag at the running back position. And then some people got hung out to dry. So it's very, very interesting on how it's going to go. And then Kurt going to Atlanta, I think that pretty much vaulted them
to win the division.
Yeah, right now the division, it's tough to say. If Tampa Bay...
It's not that tough. Just say it with me. Atlanta's favored. And
I'm going to say it's a push between them and Tampa Bay right now. Only because Mike Evans got signed back and Baker played pretty well with him. I mean, enough to secure 3 years, $100 million.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say it's a push right now, and we'll see how it goes. Panthers are still the shit in that division.
It'll be that way for a little while.
Yeah, and I don't care if they, because I mean, my thing is like I understand that, you need help on the O-line and stuff like that, but signing a guard for $100 million, that's a lot,
It is.
And last time I checked, you were getting more sacked on the ends with your tackles than up the fucking middle.
And he came from one of the worst offensive lines in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not saying he's a good run. Like, we had a good run block offense, but our pass block was
But the problem is,
terrible.
Carolina's run game was halfway decent last year. It's their passing that fucking sucks. They barely have any receivers to throw to, and Bryce Young, as short as he is, and blah blah blah, he just,
Do you think they go quarterback again in this draft?
No. Well, they can't. I mean, if you want to wait till the second round and pick Michael Penix Jr., but then you're just kind of wasting. They are literally like the trade with Chicago last year and how they did not progress whatsoever. Literally set them up to be bad for the next couple of years.
Poor Deontay Johnson. I bet he cried when he found out he was getting traded to the Panthers.
I mean, my favorite stat from this past free agency that I've seen has been
Tyreek Hill.
That Tyreek Hill has gotten more girls pregnant in the last year than Carolina has won at football games.
Because
he's getting 3 girls pregnant. They only won 2 football games.
Yeah.
Jeez, Tyreek.
I saw that too, and I did laugh at work. I was like,
it's a quality speech.
I was like, that's a quality stat.
I mean, that's not Cromartie numbers.
No. But still,
that's true champion.
Still
I think it's 11 kids by 10 different women.
It's 14.
Or 14. It's 14 by like 11 or 12.
Yeah.
There's a lot of variation. That man probably.
Him and Nick Cannon having a competition or something.
Probably.
How many's Nick got? 10.
Nick's I think on 10.
Yeah.
10 with 8. Because
but
Mariah Carey had 2 together, and then he has twins with another, I think.
But he doesn't have to pay child support now.
It's true.
That's the rule.
Yeah.
Get over 10, you're good, man. So you think about that.
Yeah.
If you're sitting at 8, 9, get out there.
Live your life.
Be fruitful and multiply.
Yeah. You're this close to not having to cut another check.
Yeah.
And it's pretty easy.
Poke holes in your rubbers.
Yeah, if you're just having
Live
to
why waste your money on rubbers?
Yeah. You just give it a very simple and just like pantomime that you're putting it on and just be like, it'll be a second, and then just go in there.
Yeah. Like they're able to feel it, right? Actually, I've always wanted to ask that question. Do they feel if the rubber's on?
Feel free to comment.
Yeah, feel free to comment, email, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm genuinely curious.
And now there's a bunch of women out there genuinely concerned that have slept with you.
No. I'm happy where I'm at. Love you.
We say all this satirically. So
Yeah, satirically. This is just a joke. No reason to yell at me later on at the house.
Yep.
It's no good for nobody.
It's been fun.
It's been fun. It's been fun, guys.
It's other surprising well, not surprising, but we knew Wilkins was going to get paid.
Mm-hmm.
And as a Miami fan,
Feels a big need too. For
not upset, and I think Oakland's defense is going to be good.
Vegas.
Or Vegas.
I've been Oakland for like
Raiders.
5 years.
Vegas,
Might as well
whatever.
just say the R word.
Jeez.
Not I know what you're thinking, but no, not that.
Raider Nation.
Oh Lord.
Oh. But yeah, as a Miami fan, not upset that he's gone. Just, I knew we couldn't afford him.
Be a little upset.
No, I mean...
Skosh.
I mean, I knew he was going to get paid somewhere, and I knew we were going to be able to keep him. Glad we had him when we did. He was one of my favorite players. But
Made
we
a lot
also...
of use for him with all those rings, y'all. Oh. Yeah.
How many does JJ got, too?
JJ, what? I don't know how many he's
None?
got.
How many TJ got?
TJ got none. But
I
TJ
mean-
got that bag and he stayed with the Steelers.
Probably got a few new rings.
Yeah.
How many's the other one got? He plays for y'all, too.
He just retired.
Derek? He retired.
Did he?
He retired at the end of this offseason.
Yeah.
Why?
I don't
Wasn't he the youngest?
He was.
No. TJ's the youngest.
Is TJ the youngest?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought...
He's still only like 30.
And also, he played fucking
Tight end
fullback.
Or fullback slash
He
tight
played
end,
fullback / tight end, so they can so they still have something there.
But yeah, for what Wilkins got paid, we signed 5 defensive players that we needed.
I don't even know who you signed. Who'd you sign?
We signed Brooks from Seattle.
Mm-hmm.
We signed Poyer from Buffalo.
That's the one. That's the one I
Yeah.
liked. I liked
Yeah,
the
but I like
Poyer.
Poyer.
I like the Poyer one.
The guy from Cleveland, I'm trying to remember his name. He was injured last year, but he finished the season. Oh, what's his name? I can't remember. I had it written down
I
too.
can't remember it either.
I can't remember his name. He played linebacker for Cleveland. And then we got the defensive tackle from Dallas. What was his name? Like Ellsworth or something like that?
Okay.
Ellsworth? I can't remember. And then we
Jesus
took another
Schultz.
free agent defensive back from, or a special teams defensive back from Buffalo. And we took 2 defensive backs from him and Poyer.
I think it just kills me because, again, I don't know how much money y'all got left in the cap.
Well, we just cleared 11 more by restructuring Chubb.
Well, that's my thing. Like, why isn't this getting done earlier in free agency? You know? Like, if it's because you lost Van Ginkel, you cut Xavier Howard. Who's the other one you cut? Save a little bit extra cash. It wasn't Wilkins.
It was
Ogba. Ogba was, but it
It
was
was
someone.
Baker.
Baker. Jerome
Well, Baker was going to be a free agent, so.
We'll let him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
we just let him go.
there was a few people that you let go that cleared, like, you know, I think close to 40 mil in cap. And then Chubb's restructures, that's 50 plus. I think that's enough to keep Wilkins. A mainstay. You know, a dude that can be not, you know, because Aaron Donald's retired now, so someone's got to take
number
that
one
spot
spot.
with D-Top. I mean, right now it's
But we
Chris
also
Jones,
had to sign to fill in those other positions we lost. So if we
that's
decided,
what the draft's for,
if we
my
resigned
man.
Wilkins, we wouldn't have had any money to sign. any of those
I hear you, but I mean, outside of Justin Poyer, I mean,
Just go ahead and draft
Yeah.
the guy from Texas and just have the fastest team in the league.
was it Brian Murphy?
No, he's
Xavier.
talking.
Oh, Xavier Worthy.
Worthy.
Oh, yeah, you could just do that. Then just let him run down the field.
Just good luck, everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
We just run screens and reverses.
But
all game.
yeah,
We're
because
fast.
And then, so I don't know. I mean, I've been looking at the mocks and all that. I think you guys are supposed to go after, like, I think a guard or something like that.
Yeah.
Interior, stuff like that. It's all up in the air. Denver, last mock draft I saw from El Kaiba, you guys are taking Bo Nix, which I feel like you kind of have to.
We're going to have to take whatever quarterback is currently available on whenever we're feeling necessary, because we don't have one.
There's no necessary. Like, your issue is that
Jared Stidham.
There's three top tier quarterbacks. Then you got 2 to 3 second tier guys, and then it's just a bunch of day 2.5, day 3 picks. And unfortunately for you guys, you got about 4 or 5 teams in front of you that literally want quarterbacks first, and you would love for you to trade up. You don't have any ammunition to do that either.
We don't, and apparently we tried to send everything that we did have to Chicago when they still had Fields, and what was told was that we offered them the house, which I'm not sure what house we still have left, being we don't have $85 million in cap hit.
You had a garage because Wilson took the house.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing I could think of, is that they had to have held on to the number 1, their first round pick. They had to have, because if you're going to sit there and tell me
that they turned down a first round
they
pick.
turned down the number 12 overall pick for Justin Fields.
Well, they took a 5th round from you guys, or
fucking
6th?
Or
No,
sixth
we
round?
didn't go after Justin Fields. We went after the number 1 overall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we were going after.
Oh, you didn't
Caleb.
have enough to do that.
No.
You would have personally. You probably could have if you did this. You had given up the number 1.
Yep.
You had given up a number 1 next year.
Yep.
You probably would have given up Pat Surtain.
Yep.
You tell me those 3. I'll shoot you over number 1.
I was told they had said that they had offered them the house as how they phrased it. They didn't ever say what they did offer them. They just said they offered them the house, and they still got turned down.
Well, my thing is then why not just go after Justin Fields? I mean, I understand that he's not Peyton's typical quarterback that he would enjoy, but if you could, when the market was softening even more, you tell me you couldn't give up a 4th rounder for him? I mean, just to get a little bit more steadiness in the quarterback room. As
I sit here still being a Denver Broncos fan, tightening the straitjacket that's now going on, being like, I believe in Sean Payton. It's getting harder and harder by the day to believe in Sean Payton.
I don't blame Sean Payton for what occurred. You got to blame the new owners because, so you had Russell Wilson, that's perfectly fine. You didn't have to sign him to an extension before he even took a snap.
Yeah.
Which already puts you in the hole because his extension starts this season and you're already done with him. So what was the point of all that? You're already giving up all these picks and then you're like, sure, $285 million, that makes sense. I think it's the Walton family, right? That's who owns them?
Yeah.
Yes. That's Walmart money for you.
That's Walmart money.
So they're just giving it up, yet Jeff Bezos can't get a hold of a franchise.
They're living by their motto. They're making a budget team.
Let's ride.
Yeah.
Broncos country.
So yeah, I blame.
Probably find a few
You
of
gotta.
those t-shirts at Walmart.
Yeah, you gotta blame the owners. I can't blame Sean Payton. He's kind of now. Granted, could you just kept Russ and not taken the huge cap hit with dead money? Yeah, but he probably went in there saying like, "Look, I'm gonna try 1 year with him, and if I'm not feeling it, I'm not feeling it." Plus, the other thing is you got to trade away a first rounder to get Sean Payton.
Yep.
I think it's 2 first rounders. I think that's like the compensation now because that's what like John Gruden got back in the day. So I think now it is physically 2 first rounders. So because you had another first rounder from some other trade I can't remember, and you had to give that up for Sean Payton.
Old John Hard R. Gruden.
Yeah. So
Awful.
it's tough to choose between. It's probably you guys that are definitely more going to take a little bit while longer to build up than the Panthers in my eyes because they at least have some people like from a starting roster standpoint. I mean,
They have Deontay Johnson.
Adam Thielen is still good.
They have Thielen who's okay, but he's their focal point of their offense. You have Bryce Young.
I think bringing Deontay Johnson in is going to help that because Jonathan Mingo, he's still young. You got to figure out what's going on there. So I think him bringing that in, that's going to help Bryce Young, but it's more like, is Bryce Young just going to be able to navigate it and figure it out? Plus, he also has to not be on his ass 24/7. So, Panthers, I don't even know what they're going to do. I mean, obviously, like I said, you signed a guard, but, there are still free agent tackles out there that you could easily throw some money at.
Yeah, but,
And you're not going to sign one at the 33rd overall pick that's going to be a plug and play because these guys are moving off the boards quick. There's a lot of people that need tackles and guards and centers,
especially in this pass-heavy offense, and defensive ends are just getting
more
athletic.
There's a good draft class of offensive tackles this year, so that's always at least a good sign. It's just you have to try to keep up with the teams in your own division first before you try to go and after anybody else. And I don't know what the long run is, but we're not touching the Chiefs anytime soon.
I don't even think you're touching the Raiders anytime soon.
Yeah, we got to try to be better than the Chargers and then the Raiders
That's the thing. Now, I remember a couple years ago when people were just like, "Man, that AFC West, that's a stacked division.
Mm-hmm.
They might even get 4 people."
But when Russ first got there, they're like, "That's the best quarterback division."
That's the best quarterback division. And now you look at it, and Chargers are a mess. Raiders don't have the quarterback. They got to try to figure it out. They have
all the other pieces.
Don't get me wrong. They probably have the second best squad in that conference or in that division, but it's not even close. It's the Chiefs are going to reign supreme in that division for at least another 2 to 3 years minimum.
We're gonna fight with Carolina over who gets the number 1 pick next year.
Yeah, but did y'all trade that off to somebody?
That's a possibility.
You might have to look it up. If you traded it off, it's
a possibility that either we don't have ours or Carolina doesn't have theirs either, because they might have got rid of it in the more.
No, Carolina they don't have it this year. So what the deal was it was swap first, get a first, get DJ Moore, and then I think a second or a third got tossed in there. So after this year, their first rounders are their first rounders. So if they earn the number 1 overall pick next year, they get to do something with that.
Yeah.
Which is what's crazy, because I think you feel bad because Carolina Panthers sucking so bad is the reason why Justin Fields is now back up in Pittsburgh. If they were picking 9th overall, which they currently are, Justin Fields is on that squad. They're picking up his 5th-year option, and they're riding off into the sunset with him.
And all those are wide receivers they just got.
Yeah. Now, I don't know if they would get Keenan Allen. I don't know if they would get Keenan Allen. I'll tell you what they would do. They would pick a receiver at 9 and then pair him up there and then spend the money on defense and all the stuff like they've been doing. But still, just because the Panthers sucked so hard and their past GM is so terrible at making deals.
He's good at throwing water bottles at people.
That's the owner. I'm talking about the GM. That's not there anymore because Dan Morgan's running the show.
He's good at covering for the owner who throws water bottles.
Yes, but because they are so terrible at their jobs, Justin Fields is now sitting in Pittsburgh, which is baffling. That it took a completely opposite team that he has nothing to do with for him to be completely off the squad.
How bad is it for Justin Fields right now? Because it's I could probably be pretty good if you never put a team around me. It's hey, we've built a team pretty decently.
Well, see, this is what's funny with
you're going over
everyone's saying okay, or I think RG3 was talking about, Caleb, you need to request not to go to Chicago. They don't know how to develop. They don't know how to develop. It's no, it's not that they don't know how to develop. They just have never put in a squad around a rookie QB. They just haven't. You got to get lucky most of the time. With Joe Burrow, what happened his first year? He got hurt, so they sucked more, got the 5th overall pick, took Jamar Chase. Then suddenly, ding, 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 there it is. CJ Stroud got him second overall. They hit big on Tank Dell. Nico Collins came into the mix. Noah Brown's doing okay. You got to get lucky where either you draft decent people behind him and your rookie's able to succeed, but most of the time that's not the case. Albeit New England, Mac Jones, Pro Bowl his first year, then suddenly receivers are gone.
We don't talk about that Pro Bowl. That wasn't a real Pro Bowl.
No. Tyler Huntley's wasn't a real Pro Bowl.
Both. Mac Jones was we looked at it, what was he, 11th in all stats related to the quarterback just in the AFC?
I don't know. We'll have to look it up again.
2 touchdowns, I think Huntley did or something like that.
Yeah.
Huntley had 3.
No, he had 2 passing touchdowns.
And 3 interceptions or something like that.
He had 2 passing touchdowns and made the Pro Bowl.
Yeah. But he had more interceptions than touchdowns that year.
Yeah, but Mac Jones did okay-ish enough to warrant being an alternate that got him in there. But then they're losing receivers, they're losing running backs, they're switching OCs every 10 seconds. You're letting Joe Judge and Matt Patricia, a defensive coordinator and a fucking special teams guy running the offense. And they're like, I wonder why he fucking sucks. So, and you look at everyone else. Zach Wilson, just yikes for him. Just... Ugh.
You got on the Jets.
Yeah, you got on the Jets, which are the Jets. And, but then they did build a decent little team for Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Well, even
the only problem is that Nathaniel Hackett's only an OC as long as Aaron Rodgers is the quarterback. The second Aaron Rodgers retires, Nathaniel Hackett is out of a job. I hope they even said that to me. Once Aaron's gone, you are as well. He's like, okay.
How long did Aaron sign for? I'm signing for that exact
same amount.
They tried to build around Zach Wilson. They had a few receivers that they brought in that were solid. They had a good run game. They had a good O-line. They've always been known to have a good defense.
So
it was just terrible.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. It was... And then the other guy, Trey Lance, fortunately for him, he just got hurt.
Yeah.
He never got a chance to experience, because he's looking at Brock Purdy like, man, if I could have just not fucking broke my ankle in half, that could have been me.
Yeah.
And I was on the Cowboys, just chilling with his hands in his pockets, not doing much.
Well, the ownership's asleep.
Yeah. So that whole draft class outside of Trevor Lawrence, the situation didn't fit, because people were talking about young QBs now, how guys are ready to move off of them before they're even finishing their rookie deals. It's like 2 years in, done. Maybe 3 if you're lucky, but that depends on where you get picked. Like Zach Wilson being used so much is by happenstance, because literally Aaron gets hurt 4 plays into the fucking year, and it's like, well, we kind of have to play him. But before then, they tried, it didn't work out. Same with Justin Fields. It was all happenstance. Justin Fields would still be on the Bears if Carolina didn't suck so bad and they had the chance to reset the quarterback clock with Caleb Williams. Trey Lance got hurt. Happenstance. So maybe these guys, if they're able to jump on with another team, could do well in a different circumstance. But that's the difference between, right now with Caleb Williams. Because Caleb Williams is going with a team that has DeAndre Swift. That's a 3-down back. Catch out of the backfield. They've improved the O-line. Keenan Allen, DJ Moore, 2 number 1s on there. Cole Kmet, top 10 tight end. We agree on that.
And they
got Gerald Everett.
Gerald Everett, too.
Gerald Everett. That's
so they get 2 top 10
they got
I would say Gerald Everett's right there and probably close to the top 10, too.
9, 10-ish.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Because Cole Kmet probably, the way he finished last year, probably top 5. Actually, fantasy-wise, he's top 5.
Well, this is the real world. So,
on real world stats, I think he still finished up that way because he was.
I'm saying in tight end NFL world, he's top 10.
What about real world road rules?
Yes, I missed that show. They need to bring it back. But yeah, so that's a completely different situation, and they're currently working on the defense. So
that's like Justin Fields got his hopes up right before he got shipped to Pittsburgh. He was like, guys, you're doing all this, and we have the number one, so I can get another wide receiver that's going to be
Like, get a Marvin Harrison
fresh.
Jr.
Yeah.
No, there's no way in his mind he even thought that they were gonna keep him and not take.
Just think, if Carolina did
I don't
have
know what he smoked.
the number one pick this year, like they didn't trade it away, do you think they go Caleb Williams even though they got Bryce Young the year before?
Well, you gotta think though they wouldn't even have had Bryce Young on the team.
Yeah, that's true.
If they don't trade, they're probably because I think they had the 9th overall. I forget what the Bears took at 9.
I don't remember him being that high.
Oh, they took a tackle. They took Darnell Wright, who great guy until he got hurt. So maybe they take a tackle. They ride with Andy Dalton for a year, this, that, and that. But that's not to say I don't even know if they would suck that bad if they had Andy Dalton back there. But sure, if they didn't have the number one, if by some miracle somehow Bryce Young fell to them at 9, they took Bryce Young, and then Caleb Williams, and he played this bad this year, and they had the number one pick. Yeah, they would take Caleb Williams in a fucking heartbeat.
Well, I thought it was crazy. They were crazy last year for trading up because I'm like, there's not too many people who really want Bryce Young. Nobody was that high on him.
The deal.
And Carolina was like, we're gonna jump up and
the deal wasn't for Bryce Young. Everyone was screaming C.J. Stroud, C.J. Stroud, C.J. Stroud, and then some stupid test came out that apparently Bryce did amazing on, and I think C.J. got a fucking 12. Shows how well they fucking know. That's why I hate these fucking advanced statistics.
The old Wonderlic test.
Yeah. No, it wasn't the Wonderlic. It was like a C2 test. Yeah. It's kind of like the Wonderlic, but it's not. And CJ just did horrible, and Bryce had like a super high score. And people were like, oh, he can read a defense. Well, it's like, yeah, can he see the defense? Like, what the fuck are we getting at here? And plus, people, and this is no offense to Tua or Jalen Hurts, they're doing okay.
They're doing.
But Alabama QBs tend to not do that great. And there's a reason why. You're at Alabama. People are like, oh, he's throwing for all these yards. He's throwing for all these touchdowns. Is it because maybe you got 2 first-round wide receivers there and a first-rounder in the backfield and at least 2 to 3 guys on the O-line blocking for you? Oh, not to mention the top-tier defense in the nation, keeping it low to where you're able to do all this? Maybe that's why you look so fucking good. And then suddenly you scoot your way over to the number 1 team in the draft. There's a reason that they're picking number 1. They fucking suck. They don't have top-tier wide receivers. They don't have the best running back in the nation. So, now, you can kind of see it with Tua. His first couple of years wasn't that great. He got hurt. But then what do? They put some pieces around him. Got Tyreek Hill. Drafted Jalen Waddle. Suddenly you got some top-tier wide receivers. And then Moser, played great. Achane did his thing when he was on the field.
Well, it helps that Tua was there he didn't miss any time.
Yeah, he didn't miss any time. But that's what I'm saying, though. But suddenly he has his best career year. Why? Because pieces are around him. If you go ahead and shoved him at Carolina, I'm sure he's probably singing the same tune as Mac Jones and Bryce Young.
Which is the same argument we have about Brock Purdy every time it comes up. But Brock Purdy in Carolina, what do you think going to happen?
I don't think it's that great.
Yeah.
Personally. It's all situational and all that. And it comes down to the money, too.
Yeah, there's very few quarterbacks that really absolutely change, and that's why they're elite, like Patrick Mahomes. You put him in Carolina, they might actually be okay.
But then it also comes, like I said, quarterbacks comes down to
Super Bowl, no. Win the division, probably.
But it comes down to the bag and everything too.
Yeah.
Like how much those quarterbacks take. Like right now, this is why the Cowboys are handcuffed because Dak's worth $55 million. So good. And so I did a little bit more number crunching and all that stuff for these quarterbacks that want to take, $50 million a year and stuff like that. I know the salary cap's gone up, but still, just here's are some numbers. So I took outside of Mahomes and Brady and Peyton Manning because those are up there, like they deserve their money. So I'm letting them in. These are the ages of the other guys like that made it to Super Bowls and stuff like that. So in order over there for a team to be good, you got to hope you got a Bryce Young situation where you're on a rookie quarterback deal. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the guys that made it to a Super Bowl, and just in the past 12 years, this is from 2012 with Russ Wilson because I had to include him in there. 7 of them were still on rookie deals, which means you had pieces around you.
Because you're not paying that much.
You're not paying that much. The other guys, you had Matt Ryan, who was at the end of his 5-year deal, $103 million. And then Newton, he was still on his rookie deal the next year, signed for 5 years, $103 million. Joe Flacco, he was still on his low rookie deal, but then became the highest paid quarterback at 6 years, $120 million. But I was looking at it, I'm like, so these quarterbacks at the time, just after they made it to a Super Bowl, only Flacco won, but still, they averaged $20 million a year, And of course, it's been 10-ish to 5 to 10 years later. But now, I just went with the top 15 QB salaries in the league. Guess how many have never even made a Super Bowl?
Out of the
top 15.
I'm going to say 12.
That's pretty good. 9.
Okay.
9. That's still crazy that you're getting paid top 15 of all time and you've never even made a Super Bowl. And guess how many haven't even made a championship, like an AFC or NFC championship?
Out of those 9, probably all 9.
No. So 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
6 of them.
6 out of 9 have not even made a championship. But guess what? So you got like Joe Burrow, highest paid right now, $55 million. In a Super Bowl. Lost. But he was on a rookie deal.
He stays healthy.
Now he's got the bag, and they're going to have to play Jamar Chase, try and pay T. Higgins. Who knows if they're going to be back?
They let Mixon go.
Yeah.
Traded Mixon.
Yeah, traded Mixon. Justin Herbert, $52.5 million a year.
His whole team's gone.
His whole team's gone, so we all know how that's going. Lamar Jackson, $52 million a year.
He's on the cusp.
He made one AFC championship, which was this past year, and he fucking lost.
Mm-hmm.
So
all roads lead to Patrick Mahomes.
You got Hurts, been to a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But he actually signed his big contract after he made it to the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Old tush push. Now
So, and I think we all saw what happened to the Eagles this year. Didn't look out so hot.
Sirianni.
Russell Wilson getting paid $49 million a year. He has been to 2 Super Bowls.
Broncos country. Let's ride.
When he was in his rookie deal. Ever since then, hasn't even sniffed a championship. Kyler Murray, 46.1. Nothing. His team always seems to be picking close to the top.
They even won a playoff game? Like,
Have they been to the playoffs?
They've been to
have
been to the playoffs. I didn't look up to see if they won, but these are just guys that I know definitely haven't made it past the divisional round. Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, I was going to say
$46 million a year.
We know.
Hasn't sniffed a championship.
Yeah.
Mahomes is at 45. He's earned every penny.
Yeah.
He deserves more.
He does.
He deserves it all. Josh Allen, $43 million a year. He's been to one AFC championship.
It's just Patrick Mahomes. Road leads to Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. Daniel Jones, 40.
Yeah.
You don't even go there, so.
Wow.
Damn the man Jones.
He's a faster Eli Manning.
Yeah. Kirk Cousins, $45 million.
One playoff win.
One playoff win. $45 million a year. $45 million a year.
I tried to give him 2. I was like, they just gave him a lot of money. And it was like, has he won a playoff game? I was like, I think he's won 2. Nope, I gave him 1. He's won 1.
Matt Stafford, $40 million. He got a Super Bowl.
He did.
Yeah.
Rams did what they had to. They gave it all away.
He went all in.
They went all in,
Win a
and
Super
they
Bowl.
got a Super Bowl out. They got a Super Bowl out of it.
Mhm.
Dak Prescott, $40 million was the average, but right now he's counting 55. We all know hasn't even sniffed in it. The
Yeah.
Cowboys haven't sniffed an NFC Championship game since '95.
The old first round exits.
Yeah. Aaron Rodgers, $37.5 million a year. Last Super Bowl was 2011, but he's been to 4 other NFC Championship games.
He's got a couple MVPs,
and he's earned some MVPs, so I'm cool with that. And then the last one, Derek Carr, $37.5.
yeah, which makes no sense.
Never sniffed a thing. That's the thing. So these quarterbacks, the main ones, like Herbert, Jackson, Murray, Watson, Jones, Carr, Cousins, they're able to, garner this much money. Like $37.5 million, that's number 15 in the league. When you got Joe Flacco, right after he won a Super Bowl, was only averaging $20 million a year. Now the 15th best guy is almost double his, and he's never even been to a championship game. And they wonder why teams can't win a Super Bowl. It's like, look, you're paying the wrong people, So I think that's what's kind of contemplating into this wanting to get rid of the rookies sooner rather than later. Because you got to try to show me something early enough to where I can put a team around you, which is what teams should be doing. Like, you got a guy for 4 years on a low deal. Put everything around him. Invest in it. And then, you know what? If it doesn't work out, it happens. But you got to at least say you tried.
Yeah.
But no team really does that. You got to get lucky with it. Like you said, Joe Burrow, his was number 1 overall pick. It was supposed to be great. He got hurt, so then they sucked, and then they had the number 5 overall.
Yeah.
And then you take Jamar Chase, who's top 3 in the league, receiving-wise.
Well, a lot of these quarterbacks get paid. It's like the teams are left with no money to spend, so they're like, well, we just have to find new weapons in the draft, and hopefully they work out. And 9 times out of 10, they don't.
Yeah, I mean, like in this case point, like with Houston with C.J. Stroud, worked out fine.
Mm-hmm.
Drafted Tank Dell, I think, in the 3rd round. Noah Brown was, I think, later on down, and he still did good. Nico Collins came in. You signed Dalton Schultz. He did okay. Run game was still, but they're fixing it. Like, they're even to the point where they're completely traded out of the 1st round. That's how happy they are with what they have. But
they're going to be one of those teams in 4 to 5 years when their contracts come up to be due.
Oh, the window's
Someone's
right
gonna
now.
get paid.
The window is right now.
Because they're all going to want to get paid, and they're all going to have to get paid.
But that's the thing. But that's the thing. If you don't hit right now, you're not going to get paid. Like C.J. Stroud, if he continues on his trend, will get paid.
He'll get paid.
And then the Texans are fucked. But right now is the window to try to go and win the Super Bowl. But then you got teams that draft guys where they don't build around. Justin Fields, case in point. You're gonna tell me they were paying money for Darnell fucking Mooney.
Yeah.
Their running backs, I love David Montgomery back there, but then they traded him away. And don't get me wrong, they still did okay, but it's like they didn't put what they're going to put around Caleb Williams is probably who they're going to take. They nowhere near put that around Justin.
Yeah.
Like, he finally got a decent number 1 with DJ Moore, and he played pretty good.
I mean, when you're looking at the Bears right now with who they have on offense minus the quarterback, there's probably
on paper
75% of the team, fans out there would take that offense.
On paper, that is probably a top 7 offense.
Yeah, depending on the quarterback.
Without even the quarterback right now.
And that depends on the quarterback. So if Caleb Williams is who they say he's going to be.
I don't even think he has to be who they say he is. I think
with those weapons, he just has to.
Yeah, because if you look at his years in UFC, his junior, he was amazing. But why?
UFC.
UFC.
Fighting.
UFC. You know what I meant?
He was fighting somebody.
He was fighting. But junior year
he was fighting for
UFC.
his life that second year.
But junior USC, he had better receiving core. He had a better running back, and his O-line was healthy. Lost Jordan Addison for his senior year. His O-line kept getting hurt, and your top receiver was Brendan Rice, who was projected to be a day 3 pick. So, of course, his progressions went down. But you're walking in now to DJ Moore, who's had, I think, 3 to 1 straight 1,000-yard seasons. Keenan Allen, who's a walk-in 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns as long as you throw the ball to him. Cole Kmet and Gerald Everett, solid tight ends, and a running back that can be 3 downs if he wants to be. And you got,
Herbert's
still
there, right?
and
He's still a decent running back, receiving back.
yeah, and you got 2 bookend tackles with Wright and I forget the other gentleman. So really, it's just the middle of the line. Maybe they might shore up later on in the draft, but that's a great offense to walk into as a rookie. So do I think he might actually perform well to the expectations that they are seeing? I think so. But he's also going to be given the most that a number 1 overall pick has ever been given to start his career.
Yeah, just think of it. It's like the Bears were your girlfriend getting all dolled up and getting a boob job and then breaking up with you to go with somebody else.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah. And basically what the Bears did, they're like, we're going to doll this team up.
Does that hurt, Cody?
It's a little close.
A little close to the
Except-
close to the vest.
His leaves them in ads on hardware.
No, he's had both ways.
I've had both ways.
Yeah.
You've had him take off hardware?
Sure. Some of them have
Is there
lost.
something you're not telling us?
Some of them have lost weight.
That's pretty good.
It works, yeah. But if you're going into a great situation right now, if you're Caleb Williams, you just kind of need to just walk the line for the remainder of the time because you've already said a lot that has kind of questioned your draft stock.
I don't think it's him that said a lot. It's his fucking team, like his dad.
Yeah.
That's who it is. They just need to shut up because you're making the expectations 10 times higher.
Yeah.
Saying like, oh, my boy wants stock in the team that drafts him and this, and that. It's like, just shut the fuck up. You don't even know what he's going to be. But like I said, he's definitely walking into the best situation that any number 1 overall pick has ever walked into, in my opinion. At least in the past.
Because how many of them
20
have had?
years.
How many have had the offense that he's walking into and another top 10 pick?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's same.
Where you could add another, like, because to be honest, I don't know if they're going to keep Keenan Allen after this year.
Yeah, they're probably going to sign another wide receiver. I'd imagine.
I think at
number
9,
they're going to draft
at 9, if like Roma Dunze is there, they're going to snag him up, lickety split. Doesn't even matter. And then
they got a 1, 2, and a 3. That's just
well,
probably gonna be one of the best trios
once
there
Keenan
is.
Allen leaves,
Yeah.
you got 1 year with Odunze watching Keenan Allen, listening to him.
Yeah.
Keenan Allen will venture off, collect his money somewhere else, but then boom, you got Ron Odunze with a year under his belt, and then you're off and running. So you're not skipping a beat. It's not like you need 3 number 1 wide receivers.
But for that,
You don't. It
for that
helps.
year, they're gonna be like the best trio
Yeah.
if he steps right in at that number 3 spot.
Yeah, if they
plays.
get Roma Dunze. There's some people saying they're going to go defense.
Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, we'll
If
see how it
Roma
plays out.
Dunze falls to them, yeah, they take him. If not, they're going to probably go with a defense like Jared Verse. Dallas Turner, if Atlanta passes on him, I don't know. They might. You know, maybe they want that other wide receiver, but granted, they have Drake London and like Darnell Mooney.
Yeah.
Good luck with that.